Hello and welcome to the Bigger, Braver Life Show. I'm your host, Angela Marie Williams. As an entrepreneur and success coach, my mission is to empower you to realize your dreams and potential through transformational experiences. The purpose of this show is to inspire your positive change by learning from a community of those paving the way to a bigger, braver life. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Bigger, Braver Life Show. I'm Angela Williams. I'm a licensed clinical social worker and your coach, here to empower you, give you the mindset support and tools and encouragement to go after your dreams and live your bigger, braver life. Today, I welcome a special guest, Nic LaProsperous. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. Hi, everyone.
Nic is the Brainstorming Bestie, and that is trademarked, and I love it. She is a master brainstormer and badass business empowerment coach who assists high-achieving entrepreneurs with untangling, decluttering, and organizing of their business ideas. So she really acts as a sounding board for your thoughts while encouraging you to step out of the business box and expand your impact and, most importantly, your income. So tell us about you, your work, and how you're living your bigger, braver life.
Oh, yes. Thank you so much for having me, Angela. I absolutely love what you're doing, love your platform, and, just encouraging other entrepreneurs and human beings and possible just to think bigger and be braver in your life, right? And that is like something that we don't talk about often. And what I do with my business as a master brainstormer and badass business empowerment coaches, I encourage you to follow your vision. I encourage you to show up, be badass, claim your greatness, illuminate in your greatness. And in doing so, you are living a fulfilled life, and not only fulfilled life, an impactful life. Because in my heart, I know that when you follow the vision that was downloaded to you from source, the universe, whoever you believe in, that you are doing God's work, the universe work, human work, for change and impact. So that is what I am passionate about. I have a brainstorming session. That's my signature. I am a brainstormer. That's what I love to do to help you, just declutter, organize your thoughts and ideas so you can focus on your impact and your income and stop wasting money on systems you don't want to sell.
Yes. Oh, preach that. All right.
Yes.
So tell us about what led you to become a business owner, an entrepreneur, how you are living this bigger, braver life now than maybe you had thought before.
Oh, that's a great question. So what led me on to here is a lupus diagnosis. So a couple of years ago, back in 2008, 9, I was diagnosed with lupus, or I had a massive lupus flare-up, right? And right away with the intense pain that I had, I was like, okay, I don't know how long I can have a 9 to 5.
Right.
So I'm like, I have to go into entrepreneurship. And that's what really got me on this journey. So with that thought, I was constantly trying to create different things to do. I'm like, okay, so I'm going to be a lupus coach because I got lupus. That's the first thing that you do is what you got, you go for, right?
Right.
But that didn't feel right. So I was like, okay, well, I like joy. Let me be a joy finding coach. That didn't feel right either. And I'm like, okay, what if I'm a business coach, a confidence coach? Like I'm trying all these things. And the only thing that I wasn't doing was the thing that lit me up. And that was brainstorming. That was ideas. That was the creative part of a business or an offer. And, that was what lit me up. And I used to always say, even before the diagnosis, I was like, how do I get paid for my ideas?
Yes.
How do people pay me for my ideas? And I couldn't figure it out. And I was like, nobody would ever pay me for ideas, but I wanted it. Like I felt like this is the only thing that would make me happy. So honestly, last year, I just betted on myself. I invested in myself, in that vision. Like, what could it be? And I had someone challenge me and said, go post in this group. And with that one challenge, I swear it's like the universe was like, Nic, we was waiting on you. Thank you for showing up, because things just started happening. It just started coming and flowing. And, that's why I'm so passionate about that alignment. We know what we're supposed to do. Stop being afraid to do the work. Yeah. And that's your happiest you're going to be in life. That's the happiest you're going to be in your business. That's what alignment is. That's the payroll to success. But that's what got me on. It's a lupus diagnosis. And I was like, I want my freedom. I want to live a life of joy and happiness. That's my compass. So I'm like, first of all, let me get out of the survival mode. Because
Right.
when you're diagnosed, it's survival. You go into survival mode. So it's like you're trying to figure out how long can I work? Where am I getting money from? And that didn't feel right to my soul.
Yeah.
You know, it really didn't. So just this journey of like joy and getting off the gravel road to success where everything got to be hard. And, you know, you have been pain while you're trying to be this entrepreneur and be successful. And I was like, I want to be my payroll. Let me do what feels right and do what lights me up. And in that, I show up for my clients. I show up for my audience. I show up for impact.
Yeah, that's amazing. I have so many questions. Love that you talk about following your vision. I talk about that a lot with my clients. It's like step one, where do we want to go here, right? We know we don't want to be here. So where do we want to go? We definitely sync up a lot with our ideas and thoughts and methodologies as well. There's a piece that you talked about. It felt like you were following more of your intuition. So it's kind of like you knew you wanted to be that entrepreneur. And so you had the vision where it wasn't maybe as specific. So I think that's sometimes people's pull, right? They know they want to do this, but they're not 100% exactly sure. How did you know that you had to kind of pivot to where you are now, kind of knowing those things weren't right for you, following your intuition, if you will?
Mm-hmm. So how I knew this was it, I think I went on a journey to learn about myself. You know, and I feel like when you are open to learning about you, you get information to learn about yourself. So one of the biggest things for me was the Clifton Strength. And ideation is in my top 5. And when I seen it, it's like my heart just was like, oh my gosh, like it felt like joy, like this is why I like ideas. This is why I think the way that I do. This is why I feel so passionate about like, I want to help entrepreneurs with their ideas and untangling. I like the brain stuff and the thought. And I always felt, especially with me on this journey with a chronic health condition, like entrepreneurship can be lonely, but it don't have to be. Right. But also the loneliest part of any entrepreneurial journey is in your head. It's your head. You could get someone to help you with your system, with your house, with all these things. Who is helping you with your thoughts, your ideas, that sounding board? And that's where I position myself because I enjoy being in that position, on that journey with my clients and anyone that I speak to.
Right. So the service that you provide, the support that you provide really is more of that sounding board. It's maybe more in a smaller container. And so for folks listening, container, when we're talking about that, it's the space in which you're doing the work, right? So it's the time frame, it's the style. So for you find it best to work in more of a smaller container with folks. Is that accurate?
I do, only because I create very intimate and safe spaces. Yes. The later is my number one strength, which is a blessing and a curse. Because when I hear like, oh, email list of 5,000 people, I'm like, 5,000, what? What am I doing with all these people? Like, huh? That don't make no sense to me. Right. but I tend to create very intimate, close, deep bonds with my clients, create safe spaces. So I prefer intimate settings. So like, 8 is my favorite number because it's a symbol of like infinity. We giving and taking of energy, giving up, taking of, love, respect, all that stuff, because I give, but I do receive back, and that's my thought process with that. So like, I don't do well with big groups. Like for me to do like I gotta be on stage and I'm just talking and in my zone and in the flow. But as far as like a teaching circle, it's usually very small and intimate.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the Clifton Strengths, which used to be called StrengthsFinder. If you haven't taken it, I highly recommend it. I recommend it to everybody. I did it quite a while ago when it was called StrengthsFinder. I think really helped me to understand where my strengths are, where I shine, and really lean into that. It's almost like giving yourself permission to lean into what you already kind of know is your thing. I love that. It makes total sense that relator and ideation is your top. So I love that. Mine are achiever, individualization, significance, connectedness. I love to connect and have an individual, like you said, that intimate conversation and plan and ability to work with my clients one-on-one. And I like that, to see that longer term support. And you talked about the mental piece of it, right? It's like we all need that mindset. We do all need to know our vision. We do all need to have a plan to get there, and that the plan and the tools to overcome those mindset blocks. And that's what you're talking about, right? Is like we get in our head too much. And so I love that you're kind of like this springboard for people to take what they've got kind of rolling around, reflect it back and go for it. And then we kind of talked about this earlier of me being able to, okay, now I can take your hand and walk you through it. I love that symmetry that we have in our. I'd love for you to walk us through what it's like to brainstorm. What does that look like? How is that? Yeah, tell us more.
Oh, I love that. Now, I'm in my happy place talking about this. To brainstorm, I think the traditional way of when people think of brainstorming is like we have a whiteboard and we just throw in, a whole bunch of ideas to the wall and just see what sticks. And that is not how I operate. And what I really do is intuitive brainstorming, because I said, it's intuitive brainstorming because, I come in and I create the safe space. And that's what I feel like a lot of people don't realize. The space that you create allows people to be open with you.
Right.
Yes. And I focus on the entrepreneur, not the idea. You as the human being come first. You as the person coming first before your offer, before we talk about your frameworks or anything. So it's creating that safe space for you and it's allowing you to just be creative. Yeah. We don't get that as women. You don't get that as people, period. Right. We always worrying about sounding stupid or dumb or, and that is out the window with me. But, in the brainstorming, you are throwing your ideas at me. And while you are, my gift is I'm picking out the things, I'm hearing the things that you are not saying. And so when you are telling me about your business, your ideas, whatever, your offer, whatever it is that you come for, then based on that, I zone in and we hone in on an offer. And from then on, we package that or whatever you came for the session for. But you're allowed to speak. And with my gifts, I'm just picking out things. So I'm hearing things that you didn't say. So I feel like because this is part of my vision, this is what I'm supposed to do. And in me pointing out that thing that you are here to do, that purpose that you're here for, it makes that connection throughout the brainstorming session, if that makes sense.
Yep.
So that's how my clients are either crying or like, holy shit, Nic.
Yeah. I love it. That's how you know it's good. Okay. Can you share an example maybe of somebody who, what that was like for them to come and speak to you and work with you, and then what happened after that for them?
Yes. So I think one that really touched my heart, I had a client earlier this year, in January, and she came, she's like, I think I need an idea, but then with my intake form, she's like, I don't think I need a new offer idea. She was like, I think I don't want my business. So through the brainstorming session, we're going through it, we're talking, I'm picking out and we're honing in everything. And I said something to her like, your voice is powerful. People need to hear your voice. That's what was coming to me throughout the session. Yeah. And at one point she was like, that was what I wanted at 8 years old. And yes, intuitively in brainstorming, I swear to you, we went as far into her 8-year-old joy. And from there, she was like, yes, this is it, X, Y, and Z. And we're going through the whole process towards the end while, we're doing a wrap up and everything. She cries. And she was like, Nic, you literally made the 8-year-old in me cry. That girl that didn't have no type of barriers. And she just was, and she was happy. And it's like, I'm damn near about to cry. She crying. I'm like, holy crap. And I think that was the one where I realized how powerful brainstorming is.
Wow. Yes.
Because it's not just about giving you clarity. It's about aligning you with what you're here to do.
Right.
And as children, we know that. We know what lights us up. As adult, the world tells us, oh, don't do this. You got to do it this way. You got to do it this way. So I'm like, no, do it your way. You got to show up. You got lives to change. And now I believe she's got selected for some major speakers platform or something like that. So that is one that really stood out, but they're also unique in its own way. Right. And just so powerful in its own way.
That is so cool. I love that. And it's we really do need to have that 8-year-old reflected, or whoever, age reflected to us of what brought us this joy without this societal crap that comes with being alive and going through, right? And being all know and all of those things. Wow, that is so powerful. I know I was like, oh, I'm gonna cry over here. That was so wonderful. So what are there common concerns or difficulties that you're seeing with women entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs in general at this time?
what I have noticed a common thread is lack of clarity. Definitely lack of clarity. I've noticed is that like they normally go to coaches and consultants that are amazing at what they do. Amazing. But they're doing what you tell them to do. So if you're unsure of what you want to do, they're building out something that you're telling them to do. Mm-hmm. So a lot of what I'm seeing is entrepreneurs are offering are teaching offers that don't light them up.
Yep.
They're able to execute, probably even in their zone of excellence.
Sure.
But it's not their zone of genius. And when you come to me, like, I'm not, if something in my gut don't feel right, I'm calling it out.
I love that.
I'm right. I'm right. Something tells me that is not right. Let's step back. Let's brainstorm that, because I want to get you to the core of why you are here. What's your impact? What's your purpose?
Yes.
And in that, I'm convinced with the right systems. Now you put systems in place, the money's going to come because you want to show up. You realize it's bigger than you. And one thing someone had to tell me, like, it's not about me. And I tell people that it's not about you. It's bigger than you. Why you're here.
That's right. I just love this so much. I love that. Yes. I mean, you're echoing, right, a lot of the things I believe in, work with my clients, and your gift. So you're so tapped into your intuition. And I think that is such an amazing thing we overlook, especially as women, especially as business owners. It's really heavy on, like you said, a lot of the execution and strategy. And it's like, well, wait a second. Do you want to do this? Right? That's wild. I love that.
And just to touch real quick on something you said, like, I'm tapped in. I didn't realize it was intuition at first.
Oh, okay.
So when I started, it wasn't intuition. I just was like, I like doing this and I'm good at it. So the more I started brainstorming, the more people started coming with me. And I'm like, you're talking to me. And I'm like, oh, this thought just came into my head, or this word came in. And they're like, yes. And I'm like, okay, I'm hitting this on the nail. And then gradually I started realizing it's intuitive also. Like, it's a gift, you got to know business. Like, that's obvious, but it was a gift. But I didn't notice that because it came so natural to me. And that's why I tell everybody, what is natural to you is extraordinary to someone else.
Yes. Oh, powerful message. We need to all hear that. Absolutely. I think that's the thing we forget or we take for granted, or that's where, I'm working with a lot of people that are very high achievers, so intelligent, so amazing. And yet they're doubting, they're having that self-doubt. And it's like, you might be comparing yourself and doing all of these things, but like you said, your gift is what other people will pay you to do because they do not have the same gifts and talents and abilities and all of that. And it's just in knowledge, right? And so it's like, that's so, so powerful. We need to hear that like every day.
Yeah, it's the truth. People are going to pay for what comes easy to you. And and that's what you're supposed to do.
Yep. I agree with that. What is your mission? Your purpose for being here is to do the brainstorming and support people in these amazing and aligned ideas. What's the bigger impact you want to make on this world?
Oh my gosh. My bigger impact is to illuminate people's greatness. That is why I'm here. I say, brainstorming is my method of delivery.
Right.
That is how I choose to deliver, the message or whatever the case is. But like, it really is to align people's vision with their business so that they can make an impact. Because I truly believe when you show up aligned in your business, you allow someone else to do the same for their business. And then we're causing chain reactions of impacts. So I'm here to say, let's align your vision so that you could create that impact. I want to empower you to illuminate in your greatness. Talk your shit. People need to know that you're here. Right. So that you can be that light, that beacon for someone to say, I'm ready to shine too. Because when you show up, you allow other people to show up. You give them permission to show up. So that is my mission of like helping 100 entrepreneurs, to really show the F up, create an offer that lights you up. Right. If you're anything like me, live a life of leisure and luxury. That is my goal. Yes. That is what I want to live. Like, why does everything have to be hard? Why can't it just feel right?
Can you speak to that a little bit? Because I think that's where a lot of times when I'm working with clients, burnout is a big theme. And, I've had that before too, where, like you said, I wasn't living in alignment. I was working in a job that really went against my values of freedom and being able to work with who I want and how I want and all of that. And so that burnout really come in. So can you talk about what this mindset is on? We have to work so hard, and what's one step we can do to steer into making it easier for ourselves?
Okay. Oh, this is a good one because it's so crazy. I just created a workbook on this, a freebie, right?
Oh, okay.
So what I think we are not taught to do is dump the bullshit. And the best way I could put it in a way that like everybody could get what I'm saying is like, imagine you have a fridge, right? And there is rotten food in your fridge. But every day you're putting healthy food and you're going to the supermarket. So you got rotten food and fresh food in the same spot, in the same place. And wondering why every time you open up that door, anxiety hits you, or you feeling like, oh my gosh, I got to go through this again, because everything is just mixed up. Now, if you were to clean out your fridge and put in fresh food in your fridge, you feel better. You don't mind going into your fridge and making something good. No smell is going to hit you. And it's the same thing with your thoughts, your ideas, all the mind trash and limiting belief. You literally have it in there. The good things that you're putting in is in there with the bullshit. So dump it. Dump it. I think the one thing to do is get it out of your body, get it out of your head, get it out of your system. Throw that shit away. And then put in what you want to hear. Put in what you feel about yourself. Put in who you want to be.
Right.
And that's just by law of attraction. You are flushing out things that don't benefit you and you are pouring into yourself. And that is literally how you manifest, or a part of like manifesting and getting to feel like aligned with just who you are as a person. Because if you are not aligned as a human being, there's so much you could do with that offer. It just really is.
So what is one thing that you've thrown away to make room for new things?
Oh, this one. And this sneaky SOB does try to come back up here and there. But it's this thought that like, I can't handle success because I'm going to get overwhelmed and I'm going to go into a flare up. That has been one of my biggest fears, because at first I was like, I'm not afraid of failure, but being afraid to succeed is fear of failing to succeed. Like, I feel like I would fail at being successful. So that is a part of fear of failure, you know, and I had to realize that. And I had to be like, well, first of all, I don't have to be a one-woman show. Let's get that out the way. There are things to heal. I'm doing fine now. So like anytime those thoughts of like, well, hey, Nick, slow down because, you know, you might get a flare up with lupus. I realized that fear is there to protect me. And I just gently say, I'm okay. Thank you, but I don't need you right now.
Yep.
And, you know, I'm a big believer that fear is the easiest thing that we let attach to us.
Yes.
And that's the one thing that we don't question is why we fear things. Start questioning it. Why is that fear there? What is it trying to protect you from?
Absolutely. And, you know, this is where the messaging, the bigger, braver life, right? The braver framework, all of this comes from what fear doesn't allow us to do or what we let it stop us from doing. And I've seen people's whole lives, they live with regret. Like, what a horrid way to live because they're letting this fear come. And so, so that's where a lot of my programming is focused. My messaging is really focused on how do we let go of fear? How do we overcome the mindset blocks that are getting in the way of us, even trying, even going to live our lives, have fun, doing the things we want to do, right? Because there's so much fear. You're so right.
Yeah.
How do you define success for yourself now?
Oh man. So success for me, you know, honestly, I just have to come to terms with what type of woman I am. I want to live a life of leisure and luxury. I'm okay with it. I am impactful. For me, success is me traveling the world. Okay. Honestly, when I know I made it, I have made it is when I could rent a yacht and tell my friends and family, let's go.
Yes.
Like that is it for me. When I'm like, okay, y'all pack your bags. I'm on an all expensive paid. You know, I rented this yacht for the weekend. Let's go. Like for me, that is when I'm like, holy crap, I did this.
Yeah.
That is my aha moment. But I think the successes for me is when a client comes and says, oh my gosh, I did it. Or this feels good, or this feels right. And realize like that's what I am known for. And that's what I'm doing. And that's an alignment. And that's what is making this beautiful life that I want to live happen. I think that's when I'm like, that is success.
That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And going back to that point you said, you've got to throw out the trash. You got to clean out the garbage and the fridge and all of that. And so timely. I was sitting on the beach yesterday and I pulled out my notebook and I made a list of all the things that I was essentially letting rot in the fridge. And I'm like, let me get rid of this. So I made a plan to do that. And what a relief it feels just to even have those thoughts. So I'm so glad that you bring that up. And I encourage everybody listening to do that as well. Like, what is the list? Write down a list of everything that you're settling for that you don't want to do. That's the stuff rotting in your fridge. And how do you make a plan? You know, obviously we can help you to get rid of that and moving toward that alignment and that vision. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's powerful.
So powerful. Oh, I love it. Yeah. So Nic, tell us how folks can work with you.
Yeah, so you can work with me. I have my brainstorming sessions, which is 60 minutes. It's intensive. It's powerful. You are coming out with like clarity, confidence, and alignment and steps to like really go forward within your business. So that's one way to work with me. Another way is that I am offering a VIP day. So that is really powerful, where we are going to brainstorm and build your brilliance, like really identify not only your idea, but who you are as an entrepreneur. Like I said it before, you're going to hear it again. I focus on the entrepreneur and your ideas, not the other way around. Right. You, without you showing up, you don't have a business, a successful business. Everything's going to be hard. So my Brainstorm and Build Your Brilliance VIP day, which is a intimate group VIP day. So that is 2 ways to work with me. And they are powerful. They are impactful and pretty goddamn badass.
Yes. Decorate it, celebrate it, own it, claim it. That is what we're going to do.
Yes. And the link for that, you can go to bit.ly/brainstorm with Nic, and everything is there. To brainstorm me, follow me on Instagram at the Brainstorming Bestie. You can follow me on Facebook at Nic LaProsperous as well, and email me. Feel free to email me. Let me know what you think about this. And if you want to work with me any further, because I know everyone don't really do social media that much. So email me at info@brainstormingbestie.com. I got like a million emails. So I'm all trying to remember which one I'm using.
Yeah. We'll add all of this to the show notes so folks can click and easily get to you. I love it. Okay, perfect. Nic, any last thoughts for our listeners today?
Yes, I want y'all all, whether you choose to work with me or whether you choose to work with someone else, or you just like, you know what, I'm a DIYer. I want you to follow your vision, follow your dreams, follow your joy compass. It makes a difference. Like, you have impact to make. Your people need you, because when you show up, you give them permission to show up. So I just want to encourage you all that is listening to this to show the F up. You got work to do.
All right. We got work to do. All right. What a great message. I hope everyone's fired up and ready to go. Reach out to us and we will catch you in the next episode.